You eat breakfast, and somehow your brain gets dumber. You drink coffee, and still crash. You clean up your diet, hit your steps, go to bed on time, and by mid-morning you feel like your thoughts are moving through wet cement. That is not laziness. That is fuel timing. Your brain can run on two different fuels, and they show up at two different speeds. If your day is built around the wrong speed, you get fog, cravings, and that wired but tired feeling. Moving to slide 2. Glucose is the fast fuel. It shows up quickly after carbs, it can spike quickly, and it can drop quickly if insulin overshoots or if you burn through it under stress. Ketones are the steadier fuel. Your liver makes them from fat, they rise more slowly, and they tend to provide a smoother supply once you are adapted. They also get into the brain under different rules. Glucose uses transporters that can get crowded and are sensitive to the hormone environment. Ketones use different transporters that upshift when ketone levels stay elevated for a while. Hormones set the backdrop too. High insulin favors glucose use and suppresses ketone production. Lower insulin and higher fat oxidation favor ketones. Each fuel fails differently, and your brain feels those failures immediately. That is where the brain's demands start to matter. Moving to slide 3. Your brain is not flexible about one thing. It needs energy continuously. It does not store meaningful fuel inside itself, so it depends on what is in your blood and what can cross into the brain right now. On a typical diet, the brain uses a lot of glucose, all day, every day. That is the baseline. But it can also burn ketones, especially when ketones are consistently available. Even then, it still requires some glucose, because certain brain cells and pathways rely on it, and because glucose supports making key molecules. So your goal is not to pick a team. Your goal is to avoid gaps and whiplash. If glucose is the main supply, you need steadier delivery and fewer sharp drops. If ketones are a big part of the supply, you need enough time and consistency for your brain to actually use them well. That difference is why glucose feels the way it does. Moving to slide 4. When glucose is driving the system, you often feel a quick mental spark after eating, especially if you were running low. That pop can be real. Then the variability starts. If the meal is heavy in fast carbs and low in fiber and protein, glucose rises fast, insulin rises fast, and in some people, glucose falls hard a couple hours later. Your brain reads that drop as a problem before your stomach is truly empty. That is when you get reactive signals. Hunger that feels urgent, a sudden pull towards sugar or snacks, irritability, and the classic post-meal sleepiness, especially after a big lunch, because more blood flow is going to digestion and because glucose and insulin swings can change alertness and arousal. Stress makes this louder. Adrenaline can push glucose up, then the rebound can feel like a crash. Caffeine can mask fatigue early, then you notice the dip later with worse focus. If your energy feels sharp and jagged, it is usually not a character flaw. It is glucose behaving like a fast fuel with a fast downside. Moving to slide 5. Ketones tend to feel like a smoother attention curve. Not necessarily more intense, but more even. Many people also notice lower hunger noise because there are fewer rapid drops in blood fuel and often a steadier hormone pattern between meals. This can be useful during long gaps. A late meeting, travel days, a workout that pushes lunch back. With ketones available, your brain has another reliable option when glucose is not coming in. There is a cost up front though. If you are used to running mostly on glucose, shifting toward ketones takes time. In the first days to couple of weeks, you can feel flat, headachy, or sluggish, partly from water and electrolyte losses, and partly because the transport and enzyme systems are still ramping up. That does not mean ketones don't work. It means the switch has friction. Once that friction drops, steady fuel starts to feel like mental quiet you can actually use. Moving to slide 6. Your body can use glucose or fat, but the switch has friction. The first break is insulin. Even a modest insulin rise from carbs, sugar, or frequent snacking shuts down most fat released from your fat cells, so ketone production stays low. Then your liver has to ramp up output. It only makes meaningful ketones when fatty acids are arriving steadily and liver glycogen is not being topped off. Your brain also needs time. Early on,
ketones do not cross into the brain as efficiently. Transporters and enzymes upregulate over days, not minutes, so the same ketone level can feel different depending on your recent diet. Electrolytes are another early snag. Lower insulin makes your kidneys spill more sodium and water, and that can drag potassium and magnesium with it. That is why people feel flat, headachy, or light when they cut carbs. And training state matters. If you're used to hard glycolytic work, your muscles are biased toward glucose, and it takes time to rebuild fat oxidation capacity. The switch is real, but it is not a light switch. It's a dimmer with resistance, and glucose often wins for a reason. Moving to slide 7. Glucose wins when you need fast ATP now. If you are doing explosive sprints, heavy sets, hard intervals, or any effort where you cannot keep talking, you are leaning heavily on glycolysis. That system runs best with readily available glucose and muscle glycogen. Ketones do not replace that top-end output. Glucose also wins if your training history is very glycolytic. Your body will preferentially burn carbs at higher intensities, and if you have not built endurance-style fat oxidation, trying to force ketones on a high-intensity day can feel like you are pushing the gas with the parking brake on. There is also brain demand. Very intense cognitive bursts, like rapid task switching, high-stakes speaking, or time-pressured decisions, often feel better with stable glucose available, especially if you are not fully keto-adapted. Sleep-deprived mornings tilt you toward glucose too. Poor sleep raises stress hormones and insulin resistance, and your brain tends to ask for quick fuel. Acute illness or major stress does the same, because the body prioritizes immediate, reliable energy. Sometimes the smartest move is to stop fighting that and use glucose deliberately, then return to ketone-friendly conditions when the demand drops. Moving to slide 8. Ketones tend to win in situations that reward steadiness. If you have a long focus session, ketones can feel smoother because they provide a consistent fuel stream when insulin is low and meals are spaced out. That often supports more stable mood, less reactive hunger, and fewer energy spikes. They also shine when you have long gaps between meals. With low insulin, fat release stays available, and the liver can keep ketone output steady. For endurance pace efforts, where intensity is moderate and sustained, higher fat oxidation plus some ketones can reduce how often you need quick carbs. And if your goal is appetite control for a defined period, ketone-friendly meals can make it easier to stick to a plan without constant cravings. When your day is about consistency, not fireworks, ketones usually feel like the calmer gear. That contrast matters when some people crash despite doing everything right. Moving to slide 9. Some people crash because their baseline insulin is already high. That keeps fat release suppressed, so when glucose drops, there is no smooth handoff to fat and ketones. Others clear carbs rapidly, especially after a big carb-only meal, so glucose rises and then falls fast, leaving them shaky or foggy. Caffeine can amplify this. Coffee on an empty stomach can raise adrenaline and make you feel wired, but without fuel, it can also make the drop feel worse later. A big evening carb load can set up a rough morning too. You may wake up hungrier, with more variable glucose and less access to fat for steady energy. Undereating protein is another quiet driver. Too little protein makes meals less filling, increases snacking, and can keep insulin bouncing all day. Fix the crash pattern, and the fuel choice becomes simpler, because your baseline stops fighting you. Then you can use a simple decision process instead of guessing. Moving to slide 10. Use a quick decision tree. First, what task comes first? If it is explosive training, a hard meeting, or anything time-pressured, plan for glucose support. That can be a carb-containing meal or a small carb dose close to the effort, paired with protein to slow the swing. Second, how long until food? If you will not eat for 4 to 6 hours and you need steady output, set yourself up for ketones by keeping insulin low. Choose protein plus fibrous carbs or lower carb, and do not stack frequent snacks. Third, check stress right now. If you are sick, very anxious, or running on fumes, forcing low carb can backfire. Use simple carbs strategically, then stabilize with a full meal. Fourth, training intensity today. Easy Zone 2 supports ketones. High-intensity days usually do better with more carbs. Fifth, sleep quality last night. After poor sleep, aim for stability over purity. Combine protein, some carbs, and enough salt and fluids to avoid the shaky dip. Once you pick the branch, you can experiment with small adjustments and learn your personal thresholds. Moving to slide 11. When you experiment with food timing or carbs, track focus, not weight. Weight can bounce for reasons that have nothing to do with performance. Pick one variable and hold the rest steady, so you can actually learn something. A simple way is a consistent breakfast for a week. Same time, same ingredients, then compare your morning output. If you want to test fasted deep work, choose one task that matters. Do it before your first calories, and rate your concentration and irritability right after. Also add electrolytes early, especially sodium, because low salt can feel like brain fog, headaches, and low energy, even when everything else is perfect. Run it like a clean mini-study, and you will spot what truly moves your day instead of chasing noise. Moving to slide 12. Most people sabotage the experiment by swinging too hard. They go low carb overnight, undersalt their food, or accidentally eat too few total calories. Then they pile on too much HIIT before their body adapts and call it a failure. Also, judging by one day is a trap. One rough night of sleep can wreck any protocol. Good experiments stay inside safe guardrails. Moving to slide 13. Safe boundaries matter more than any macro split. If you have diabetes, especially if you use insulin or sulfonylureas, changing carbs or fasting can drive low blood sugar. That needs supervision and a plan for monitoring and dose adjustments. Medication interactions are real even without diabetes. Blood pressure meds, diuretics, stimulants, thyroid meds, and some antidepressants can change how you tolerate fasting, sodium shifts, and appetite swings. If you are pregnant or trying to conceive, aggressive restriction is a bad idea. You need consistent energy and nutrients, and guidance tailored to you. If you have a history of eating disorders, fasting and rigid rules can reignite obsessive tracking, binge cycles, or anxiety around food. In that case, the safest experiment is usually structure without restriction and support from a qualified clinician. And do not ignore symptoms that are out of proportion. Persistent dizziness, fainting, heart palpitations, chest pain, confusion, severe weakness, or ongoing nausea are not badges of discipline. They are signals to stop and get evaluated. The goal is sharper days and better health, not proving you can suffer through a plan that doesn't fit you. Moving to slide 14. Pick your next test and keep it simple. Choose one focus window, like 8 to 11, and protect it the same way every day. Choose one meal pattern, such as 2 meals or 3, and stick to it. Decide carb timing, either earlier, later, or centered around training. Log energy and mood in one sentence, twice a day. Repeat for 7 days, then decide what to keep. If this helped, subscribe for more evidence-based experiments you can run on yourself. Comment with the one variable you are testing this week. This content is for educational purposes only and is not medical advice. Consult a qualified healthcare professional for personal guidance. Ketosis is a tool. Metabolic flexibility is the goal.